We keep learning more and more about the people involved in the shooting today at North Hills. The suspected shooter has been identified as George Colom. He's the executive chef at Coquette, where the shooting happened. The man who was shot and killed is Jonathan Schaffer, another worker at the restaurant. A third person, Jonathan Aguilar, was injured. Thank you for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Ashley Rowe. Dan Haggerty live tonight in North Hills with our team of reporters. We have you covered tonight. Carly Haynes has the latest on the victims. Aaron Thomas with the new details on the suspect. Willie Danley on safety at the shopping center. Let's get right to Dan, though. Dan, give us a sense of the scene at this hour. You've been out there for hours now. We know police recently started clearing the area.
Yeah, just recently, some of those interior roads opening here in North Hills. Think about that. This all starting around 11 o'clock this morning, and just now, the interior parts of this scene being cleared. It has been such a shocking day for so many people down here. Tragic for the people directly involved. Shocking for all of our viewers who know this very popular restaurant that has been here for over a decade, kind of a staple here in this North Hills community. But we do want to focus on the former, the people directly involved in all of this. And I want to bring in Carly Haynes now, because we have had the opportunity to talk to not just somebody who witnessed this, but who was an unfortunate victim, somebody who was shot at 11 o'clock this morning at their place of work. Just a remarkable and terrifying thing.
Absolutely, and we're thankful that he's okay, but he witnessed it all and how scary. WRAL Sarah Kruger was outside of the hospital when he was discharged. She talked to him, and he said this all happened just minutes before the restaurant was set to open during a routine morning meeting. In a cast, a bullet still in his hand, Jonathan Aguilar is out of the hospital.
I'd say I was super lucky. I feel really bad, almost guilty.
A survivor of a deadly shooting at his job this morning. It's a blur, but Aguilar says he remembers Coquette head chef George Colom pointing a gun at his coworker, Jonathan Schaffer.
It's like, pew, 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 and I just ducked.
Schaffer didn't survive. Police say the suspect turned the gun on himself and is in critical condition.
It feels like a dream, honestly. Like, I don't feel like I've experienced it, but I have.
Police say the shooting stemmed from a dispute. Aguilar saw no red flags.
No one there had any reason to hate him or dislike him or have anything personal against him, not to my knowledge.
And that motive is still unclear. Aguilar said Schaffer had only been working at the restaurant for just a few weeks.
Carly, thank you so much. Again, you saw the person who was injured. Another victim was killed in this shooting, not to mention the victims, the other people who were there, who witnessed this tragedy unfold before them, to their coworkers, to their friends. And of course, our thoughts are with them as we focus on that part of the story. But we're also focusing on the person who's accused of pulling the trigger, this George Colom, the head chef there. For that part of the story and what more we've been able to learn, let's send it over to Aaron Thomas. Aaron.
Yeah, Dan, we've learned a lot about George Colom just within the past few hours or so. We're standing near the intersection of a Lassiter Mill Road as well as Six Forks Road. You can see traffic is flowing, but for hours it was actually blocked off as police continue to investigate over what has really rocked many people in this community. Let's show you photos now of the suspected shooter. That's George Colom. We learned that he actually moved to the Triangle area around 2017, according to a LinkedIn post. He has a criminal past, according to findings from our WRAL Investigates team. Here locally in North Carolina, he had some minor drug charges, and just 3 days ago, he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor leaving the scene of an accident in Orange County. In 2011, in the state of New Mexico, he pleaded guilty to possessing a stolen gun and was sentenced to 40 months in federal prison. A former employer of Colom, Elizabeth Sharp, weighed in on today's tragic event, and she's the managing partner of Glendale Hospitality. Just take a listen to what she had to say.
He worked for us for several years as a sous chef at Hawthorne and Wood, and then he was planned to be the executive chef at the restaurant we opened most recently, Proximo, and we ended up parting ways. And as someone with a lot of professional potential and passion, who we had hoped would have a long and successful career with us, it is incredibly disheartening to see someone's life go sideways.
Now, the group that owns Coquette Restaurant initially had Colom listed as their executive chef on their website, but it has since been removed. Raleigh police, they tell us that the shooting, it appears to be over a dispute, but we're still working to find out what exactly led to this deadly event that has really rocked many people in this community. Back to you.
Aaron, thank you so much. And we can't understate the impact of all of this, both from the stories we've told you already, the people who were directly involved, the witnesses, the victims in all of this. As you scale back, this is a very popular area, of course, a very busy area. People live here. There are grocery stores here. They were coming here for lunch. This is a spot that people frequent regularly. And to have this type of scary thing happen, it really shook this community. A lot of our viewers at home know Coquette very well. This is a restaurant that has been here for more than a decade. It is an award-winning restaurant. It's known for a great brunch. It's been recommended to me before. People saying you have to go and check this place out. It's a very well-known establishment that I know so many folks at home have been to. As you scale back, though, the chaos that erupted here today caused this scene to be consumed by police officers. It shut down roads. It impacted 440 and that Six Forks exit right there, backing traffic up for miles. There were schools that were put into lockdown because of this today, and parents that were getting calls about their kids being in a lockdown situation. So many lives were touched by what happened here today, and here we are hours later as this investigation continues. Ashley.
Dan, just give us a sense of what things are looking like tonight. There are so many places, establishments that are in North Hills on a Friday night would normally be bustling, all of these restaurants that you were just describing. What's the scene like now that the roads have reopened and that the scene seems to be kind of dissipating?
If you pulled in here right now, if you just got off an airplane and pulled into North Hills, you probably wouldn't know much was going on. You can see the traffic as it's been moving behind me. That said, all the businesses down here, it's just there's a ton of places to dip into. And, in between live shots, there's a Starbucks that I went into. You see the looks on people's faces. Everybody in this area knows what happened today. Everybody is paying attention to every detail that we have been talking about here on WRAL, and they're shocked by it. It really is startling what happened at such a popular restaurant here today in such a busy area that, again, so many people feel personally attached to.
Yeah. Okay. Dan, great job to you and our entire team out there reporting this evening, bringing us the very latest information with breaking news coming in every hour. Tonight we are also hearing from another employee at Coquette, another one of the servers. She says the staff was a tight-knit group and she worries the business will shut down.
Everyone's been contacting, even like workers that haven't worked there in a long time, contacting everybody. It's probably gonna be closed down. So, but we were tight. I would say we were a tight-knit family in there. So we all knew each other really well.
When something like this happens in such a busy area, there are, of course, a lot of witnesses. I want to show you this Report It video that a viewer sent in. We rely on your videos so often. About a dozen armed officers entering the Park and Market. That's right near the Harris Teeter. Raleigh police told us law enforcement searched nearby businesses for other suspects or injured people. And we spoke with people in the area here who told us that they heard the sirens from this office building. WRAL's Brittany spoke with a woman who lives and works in North Hills. She says her office overlooks the area where the shooting happened.
This is not what Gretchen Coley expected to look at outside her North Hills office all day Friday.
We saw people coming out of the building. We saw someone being carted out of the building by officers, and then someone on the sidewalk outside with what looked like an injury to the head.
Coley and her team heard the gunshots. She says police swarmed the area almost immediately. She says it's hard to process something like this happening in North Hills.
We've got probably 15 employees and team members here in the office. My children are in school just down the street. We have an apartment here. My mother-in-law has an apartment here. So, this is where we live, where we work, and so to have something like this happening right outside of our office is definitely heartbreaking, and heartbreaking for the people who are involved in this.
Sky 5 above the scene shows you just how wide of a perimeter police built around the restaurant where this happened. I asked Chief Patterson if all the shots were fired inside the building, and she said yes. So I also asked, then why block off so much of this area?
Anytime you have any kind of shooting incident, we're going to make sure that our crime scene and our perimeter is wide. That is just our protocol in doing business like that. We are in the process now that we have been able to isolate some things to reduce the crime scene.
Police began to reduce the crime scene around 3.5 hours after the shooting. For Coley and the rest of the North Hills community, it's a chaotic start to the holiday weekend. Brett Neese, WRAL News.